It's Friday, January 13th, 2023. That's right, Friday the 13th. In case you were wondering, this is the first of two Friday the 13ths for 2023. The other is in October, so I expect Halloween to be even wilder than usual here on Alameda. Welcome to episode 36 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, the weather continues to dominate the headlines, although Alameda appears to have been spared the worst of it. One bright spot, you now have an extra month to file your taxes. 3 local schools named to the California Distinguished Schools list. Kudos to a local mom for helping keep the music playing. The city is looking to hire a new assistant city manager. Details on the Clement Avenue Tilden Way Improvement Project. The warming shelter needs your help. And thanks to you, the Postcast has hit quite the milestone. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story: did you enjoy Thursday's break from the rain? Good, because it looks like 2 more atmospheric river events are headed our way between now and midweek. Fortunately, they appear to be weaker than the storms we've seen so far, but with saturated ground, it still means some of us will be dealing with water issues again. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for the entire Bay Area from early Saturday morning until 4 p.m. on Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. One of the ongoing threats of the constant rain has been the effect on trees, especially older ones. We've had trees split or come down all over the island, including Washington Park and the Crab Cove area. The weather reached something of a peak on Tuesday with winds, rain, and pea-sized hail over much of the island. As if that weren't enough, there was also a 2.7 earthquake centered in San Leandro. The wet conditions have had one positive effect: a dent in the drought. While a few days of rain won't make up for years of low water, we are starting to see reservoirs inch back up, and the critical Sierra snowpack is piling up at record levels. It doesn't mean the drought is over, but it is encouraging news. As always, find current weather conditions and a 5-day outlook at alamedapost.com/weather. Aside from easing the drought, these storms have brought an unexpected benefit. Your tax deadline just moved from April 15th to May 15th. California residents who live in an area where an emergency was declared have been granted an extra month to file business and individual taxes. Alameda County is included in a list that also includes San Francisco, Marin, Sonoma, and others. You don't need to do anything to claim this extension. Just take advantage of it. For details, see alamedapost.com/external. Some reminders as you drive during these wet times: if your wipers are on, your headlights should be on. You might be able to see just fine, but it's about the ability of others to see you. Also, don't forget, patches of wet leaves can make stopping difficult. So slow down, leave a little space between you and the car in front of you. Some great news from our schools: 3 Alameda elementary schools, Amelia Earhart Elementary, Bay Farm, and Frank Otis Elementary, were named as 2023 California Distinguished Schools this week by State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond. Statewide, 356 schools were selected for the prestigious award. With over 5,800 elementary schools in the state, that puts the Aviators, Dolphins, and Owls in the top 6% of elementary schools in California. For details, see alamedapost.com/news. Back in 2014, Alameda mom Lori Murray was dismayed by the state of music programs for area elementary students. So she founded the Bay Area Music Project. The nonprofit serves 200 children in Encinal Junior and Senior High Schools, Wood Middle, Life Academy in Oakland, with the largest program at Maya Lynn Elementary. This year, Ms. Murray received a Jefferson Award from the American Institute for Public Service, acknowledging her efforts. The program has been quite the success, with students even getting to play with renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma. Congratulations to Lori Murray. For full details, see alamedapost.com/external. Does this sound like you? Experienced in local government work at the executive level with a record of strategic interdepartmental coordination and collaboration, a strong leader ready to add value and insight to an established, experienced, and cohesive executive team, a people person with positive communication skills capable of effectively engaging staff, community, business groups, and residents. If so, you might be a good fit for Assistant City Manager. Now that Jennifer Ott has been sworn in as manager, the city is looking to fill the position of assistant. For a look at qualifications, salary range, and a job description, see the January 11th news brief at alamedapost.com/news. As we've reported earlier, there are big changes in store for Clement Avenue and Tilden Way. In addition to a roundabout and an extension of the Cross Alameda Trail, there's also a potential third dog park in the mix. The project has been in the works for some time, with public input being received through 2022. City of Alameda staff and consultant team will present Phase 1 of the Clement Avenue Tilden Way Improvement Project to the Transportation Commission for approval on January 25th at 6:30, and will then request approval from City Council on March 7th. For a look at the scope and history of the project, see the January 13th news brief at alamendapost.com/news. The city's warming shelter at Christ Episcopal Church at Grand and Santa Clara was initially scheduled to be open only a few nights a week. With the weather turning so bad, the decision was made to keep the shelter open 7 days a week. Shelter could use your help. While paid staff of the East Bay Housing Coalition provide evening and nighttime coverage, there's a need for folks to volunteer in the daytime hours. Also needed meals, supplies, and monetary donations. To see how you can help, visit alamendapost.com/external. Just before Christmas, on episode 33 of the Postcast, I mentioned that there had been bald eagle sightings in the area. I said at the time that the big raptors typically don't nest here, but will stop by as they pass through. Apparently the birds didn't get the memo. All indications are that a breeding pair has set up shop, and the two have been building a nest. For an introduction, visit baynature.org, and we'll be following our new residents on alamedapost.com. From fauna to flora, did you know the city manages over 25,000 trees? Yes. The City of Alameda Urban Forest Plan is responsible for managing one of nature's most beneficial gifts. With the recent storm damage, this topic has become even more timely. You've got a couple of chances to learn more about the plan, starting with the opening of the Bohall Circle Immigrant Park on January 21st. The UFP booth will also be set up at the Mastic Senior Center for their Storytelling and Drumming Festival on February 4th. Trivia question: what is the most common tree in the city's inventory? The answer at the end of the podcast. For details on the Urban Forest Plan, see the January 11th news brief at alamendapost.com/news. From writing term papers to creating art to imitating the human voice complete with emotional nuance, artificial intelligence has been making the news a lot lately. It's playing an ever-increasing role in our lives. Our publisher, Adam Gillett, addresses the issues raised by AI, especially how it relates to what we do here at the Post. He shares his thoughts at alamedapost.com/op-ed. After the post-holiday lull, events are picking back up on the island. As always, make sure to check alamedapost.com/events for a look at what's coming up. Saturday, the Alameda Farmers Market runs from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Also on Saturday, Bike East Bay presents their adult Learn to Ride a Bike class at Alameda Waterfront Park at 10 a.m. If you've never learned or it's been a while, here's the perfect opportunity. If you don't own a bike, rentals are available, but please make reservations ahead of time. While part of your family learns to ride, the others can participate in the monthly coastal cleanup, also taking place at Waterfront at 10 a.m. Bring gloves and a bucket and celebrate your good work afterwards at The Rake. Ever wonder where new burlesque acts come from? Now's your chance to experience Beta Test Burlesque Saturday night. Again, details at alamedapost.com/events. Sunday, you can take part in Bonsai for Beginners thanks to the Alameda Backyard Growers. Check out retrospectives at the Frank Bett Center, or join musician activist Holly Neer for a free screening of Norma Ray at the Alameda Theater. Looking ahead to next weekend, Altarena Playhouse opens their next show, Wendy McLeod's Slow Food. This comedy has been called witty and wonderful and a laugh-filled experience. Details on these events and many more at alamedapost.com/events. Don't forget, the Post is now an official 501c3 charity, which means your donation is tax-deductible. Thank you for supporting nonprofit news for Alameda. See all the benefits at alamedapost.com/memberships. I want to take just a moment to say thank you to you, the listeners. Thanks to you, the Alameda Postcast was ranked in the top 25% of all podcasts hosted on the Buzzsprout platform. And believe it or not, we travel. The Postcast has been listened to in over 30 countries. Thanks for spreading the word far and wide. Remember, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcast, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. I'll be back next Friday with episode 37 of the Alameda Postcast. Oh, the tree? The London Plain Sycamore.